Hello again, Arcade1up fans. Brian here. Yes, it's been gone for a very long time. I started to do some videos back a couple months ago showing my cosmetic mods on my Arcade1up cabinets to make them look more original. I've been behind, started back up teaching this year. Just bought a new house this past month, which I'm nowhere near ready to move in. Really not looking forward to moving all my arcade cabinets to this new house. That's going to be a big pain, but I am looking forward to setting up a new layout and having more space for my cabinets in the basement area. But without further ado, I'm going to show you the cosmetic mods I made here on my Tempest cabinet. And I'm going to start right off here with the Marquee. I left the original Marquee, the stock one. I don't think it looks too washed out. I'm happy with it right now. Maybe later on down the road I might add the Saswell Arcade clip-on Marquee. But this one looks authentic. It's got the Atari logo. In person, it's not as washed out as you may see on camera. I like how you can still see the speaker grills. I think the Sasbo one, I don't know if you can see the speaker grill. It's just all black, which is why I've held off not buying the Marquee. Maybe somebody out there bought it and can tell me if I'm wrong or not. But the main part of this Marquee that I wanted to show here is that I properly installed it so that it is angled with the side panels, which is how Arcade1up should have done this in the first place. I have no idea why they didn't do this. It just makes the cab look so much better, as you can see here. And you also notice that I have an angled control panel, which we'll get to in a minute. So how did I do this angled Marquee? You'll see that there's no additional screw here. It's just being held in by dowels. I drilled 2 additional holes up here in the front. I got some tracing paper where I traced out the very top of this side panel on the inside, and then I measured the distance of the dowel holes on this and just lined it up and marked it on the tracing paper. Put it on there, drilled the holes. I used the same tracing paper I put on the other side here, flipped it, did the same thing, got the holes to line up perfectly, and it's just held in by those dowels and with the side panels screwed in. But to make sure that this wasn't all loose on top, I had, it's hard to see here, but there we go. This right here is an extra wood Marquee panel from the first Arcade1up line. And I used this in place of where this Marquee would be, so I can still use the screw hole to hold these top levers and still have the H panel locked in place. I threaded the power wire. I drilled a hole into this Marquee, put the wire right through, sits right down, can plug it in, and we still got power, no problem. It looks great. I love it. You don't lose much of the screen, or maybe just a sliver of the top when you're standing. You'll still see the full screen when you're sitting though. So it works out well, and this, we still got the speakers and everything down here. Same thing. Now moving on to the control panel. I know this became known after a while. I actually came across this very early before everyone started buying them. I think I might have been, actually I found I was the 3rd person to order one. And actually I got a special order before the guy from Mod1up. He makes these. Came out very well. There's no plexi over it. I'm a little worried that this might wear away, but he did give me a second graphic. When I first got this, I was going to get a piece of plexi before I add all the buttons back in. I was going to lay it over and get a heat gun and melt it and then fold it over, which would have worked fine and route the holes out, but I didn't do it. So maybe one day I'll take this all apart and make a new plexi cover if this starts to wear and put the new graphic on. But again, this angled Marquee does a very nice job of being in line with the cabinet. This graphic is a little off. This should be more here in the center, a little smaller. And this could have dropped down maybe just a little more to have more area for that, but honestly it came out very well. But when I first ordered this from Mod1up, he had a standard layout that he was offering, but he also had a special request section. And I had an idea of how I wanted my buttons set up. spinner. I still wanted to retain where the original buttons should be labeled Super Zapper Fire. I wanted to get volcano buttons added in, which I told him I had already. He specially made the holes, which eventually he started making those on his like second or third wave of these control panels. And the layout of the buttons are now here on the left, not the right side. It's a little funky playing couple of the games, but you kind of get used to it where you figure out and memorize the buttons. But I mainly want this for Tempest. Still got all stock parts. You know, one day I'll replace it with a GRS spinner when this eventually goes. Although the GRS spinner doesn't work. I forgot about that. But the GRS trackball I know works in this. But right now I'm just going to use it stock until it dies. Volcano buttons, I bought these off of eBay. I got them hooked up to the power source in the back of the PCB. You'll notice here though, there's no power buttons on here. There's no on-off switches. Mod1up did ask me if I wanted the switches on there, and he told me he could do it without it. I was like, sure, why not? It would be nice not to see the on-off buttons here. So he came up with a concept, which actually was a lot harder. He took a few times to make it, but he made me an H panel here. Sorry, J panel. The power buttons are under here. You can see these little highlights. That's the power, and that is the volume. So I just reach under here and turn it on and off, so it's hidden, it's concealed. Honestly though, he could have put that right on the back of this part of the panel, no problem. I don't know why he didn't think of that, but it worked out. But the panel he gave me was in an odd position, so I used the original panel that this came with and re-drilled the holes and modified it a little easier to work out. But it's nicely concealed, so you got no power buttons on there. You got the instructions in their correct place, all set up. You got the two-player icons in the right place below the volcano buttons. This volcano button, I believe this one could be raised up a little more. Should be a little closer to this. I tried to push that, but he's like, I have to redo the whole design. I was like, fine. I got that specific on my design. But after that, other people were making special requests, I guess, on his website, and he stopped and went back to a standard design now he's offering, which looks nothing like this layout. But I got that early on, took a while, and everyone else started getting their panels way before me. Then moving on here, I bought a graphic coin door, the Atari version that you see here. It's a little larger than normal, but not by much. This is what the Atari coin doors did look like. I got this from Groovy Arcade, I believe it's called, .com. I'll put the link below if anybody's interested. This right here, this decal, the Atari 1 coin equals 1 play, I just printed it out on my printer. I put some clear contact paper over it, cut it out, and it was the perfect shape and size to fit right over that plate. So that worked out well. I added that on. That is not part of the graphic. That's added on. So it's kind of neat because it's like a real plate. Then I went to find on Google.com the amusement machine serial number and everything ticket that you see here. I tried to get the right size so it was proper proportion to the coin door. Got as best I could. It could be a little higher, of course. This is all 3/4 scale. So, but that I just found around Google Classroom. I went to FedEx. No, sorry, this one wasn't FedEx. This one I just printed out on my own in Google. It's just black and white, so I didn't really need much. It looks like it's worn. Again, I put contact paper over it. And there you go. And that is in the same spot as it is the original arcade. And as for cosmetic mods, graphic-wise and hardware, that is the main layout of what I wanted for my Tempest cabinet. And you can see from a distance here that with that angled marquee and angled control panel, it really looks much better like the original cabinet. I love it. There is one more mod that I was starting to work on, and again I just lost time due to everything going on right now. But the original Tempest had a piece of glass in the front right here. Also, I don't like the arcade logo here. I kind of wish the Atari logo was down here and this was up here, like they used to be. I might cover that with black tape, I don't know. But the plexiglass, I gotta go and get a proper piece. I have a little temporary piece here that I cut out. This is a very thin plexi, but I was just testing sizes and how large I need to make it. But this is going to fit down there in between the monitor and the control panel. And then what's going to happen here is, this is a longer piece, but I'm sizing it. This will just fit right underneath and go right in like this underneath the Marquee. So it'll be set up, but it's going to be forward here, so it's actually coming out at you. And I also think that, I don't know if it's just the way the pictures look. I haven't seen the original Tempest in a long time, but I think the glass that's in front of it is tinted slightly. So I actually went and bought some tinted clear vinyl that like goes over headlights on cars. I'm gonna see how that stuff looks. I'm gonna cover it, put that plexi in here, and have that front panel to give it that glass look like the original cabinet to complete the cosmetic mods on this Tempest. And that is it for my cosmetic mods on this cabinet. This video was a lot quicker, rushing it. It's late right now, but I wanted to get this one out there. I'm going to try to get a couple more in before I do start moving these things in the next few weeks. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I will put a link in the description on where I got the Atari coin door and the Mod 1-Up control panel. I think he's still making them. And where I got the volcano buttons if you're looking for them. Let me know if you want to know how I did the Marquee. I'll help out in any way I can. That's it for me. Thank you for watching. Please hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this video. And I'll see you next time.